as today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the defending world champion New York Yankees against the Houston Astros in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yesterday, the Yankees won the first game of this series 4-3. They got some clutch hitting, but the game was really about Andy Pettitte. The 37-year-old left-hander was really dealing. He gave the Yankees 7 in the third innings and looked about as strong as he looked all year. Well,
he's been consistent all year. I mean, he went through a little bump in the road yesterday in the second inning, gave up a couple runs, but then he got right back to his usual self, shutting down a team. He had a little help defensively. Best buddy, Lance Berkman, on the other side. Swisher makes a good play. But again, keeping the ball on the ground in the infield keeps your defense alert. Another great job by Andy Pettitte.
And Andy Pettitte keeps moving on up. 387 starts with the Yankees as third all-time. He picked up his 200th victory third. Innings, he's 6. Strikeouts, he's also third. And after the game last night, Andy Pettitte talked about the meaning of that 200th win.
It's great. It really is. Guys all come in here and just hug me and Mo. Big old smile on his face and had the baseball and handed it to me. So that's awesome. Gator just called me, congratulated me on it. So it is special. It's there's not a lot. Of guys that have won that many games as a Yankee. So it's a good thing. So I'm real happy.
A humbled Andy Pettitte, the Gator he's talking about, of course, Yankees' Ron Guidry. Javier Vazquez will get the start for the Yankees in this game. We'll talk about how he's turned his season around next on Yes. Away from Game 2 of the Yankees against the Astros. Let's take a look now at the New York Lottery pitching matchup. And it's going to be Javier Vazquez for the New York Yankees against Wandy Rodriguez for the Houston Astros. Now, with Vazquez starting, there's a big difference in the Vazquez early and the Vazquez now. In his first 5 games, Vazquez 1-3, 9.78, Paul. In his last 6 starts, 4-2 with a 2.73. Everybody knows Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Paul, why has he made this change? Why has he been better?
There's always an adjustment. I don't care if it's the first time you've been in New York or you come back. I mean, he comes back after winning a world championship with the New York Yankees, and he comes back into this surrounding, and I think it's an adjustment period. I think he's back to throwing strikes. He's back to the command. He throws, 3 or 4 different pitches, but you still have to throw strikes. Great matchup for him today. National League team he's accustomed to doing well against. It should be a good day for Javi.
You think a lot of it has to do with confidence, though, because he keeps talking about he's been able to command his fastball. Does he feel more confident about his fastball now?
Well, I think he's more confident that he can throw it in certain counts because he knows where it's going. I think, Andy Pettitte's a prime example. I think he can sit back and watch how good Andy Pettitte is at location and how successful you can be when you can control your stuff.
Ready for some baseball?
Absolutely. It's nice and warm today.
Absolutely. So we are ready for baseball as well. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, and baseball. That's coming up next right here on Yes. Hadn't heard from you. Paul's got his headset off. First base, number 25, Mark Teixeira. By Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. By IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. And by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. Another big crowd making its way into Yankee Stadium in the Great Hall. And Paul O'Neill is with us today for the second of 8 straight games right here on Yes. He is ready. He's a warrior.
I look tall on that banner.
You really do. I think they stretch you out a little bit.
Elongate you a little bit.
Javi Vasquez on the mound for the Yankees. Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup that he is going to face. Put together by manager Brad Mills. Michael Bourne in center. Jeff Keppinger, the second baseman. Lance Berkman at first. Carlos Lee will DH and clean up. Batting fifth, playing right field. Hunter Pence. Jeff Plum is the third baseman. Jason Michaels in left. Humberto Quintero will catch. And Tommy Mandela is the shortstop. And he is going to bat ninth. Kind of a hot, steamy day here in New York City. Javier Vasquez, who has been one of the Yankees' hotter pitchers of late, he is ready. So is Michael Bourne. Let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is outside, and we are underway. Astros coming at 25-37. Yankees snapped their 3-game winning streak with last night's 4-3 victory. Astros have won 8 of their last 11. These are the numbers on Vasquez in 10 starts. 5-5, 5.63, less than a hit per inning. 52 strikeouts, opponents hitting .248 against him. And there's the first strike of the game, 2-1. Let's take a look at the scouting report.
Hitting his stride. I mean, his last 6 starts, he's 4-2 with a 2.73 ERA. 1-hit wonder. This is pretty impressive here. See a ground out to start the game. Out of his last 4 starts, 2 of them been 1-hitters. Pretty darn good. And staying tough. I mean, he got off to a horrible start. He's 1-3 with a 9.78. Everybody writing him off, talking bad about him. But it's easy to get down, but he's battling back. A lot of guys are rooting for him in that Yankee clubhouse. How was that, Michael?
That was good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Look, I even surprised you on the second one, it looked like. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't. You teach me things with the scouting report. Here's Keppinger. And there's a strike. 13 starts for Javi against the Astros. 3-5 with a 4.41. Javi last year with the Atlanta Braves. Started his career with the Montreal Expos. And the 0-1. There's a strike. Count 0-2. He's working quickly now. It seems like he has confidence standing tall on the mound. And this game is so much confidence. At the beginning, you could see he had trepidation. Things didn't go well. He'd lose his posture, lose his confidence. But now he's getting the ball, throwing the ball, and throwing it with authority. The 0-2. Grounded foul.
Trepidation.
Trepidation.
That doesn't sound like a good thing to have when you're on the mound. Huh?
Anywhere. You should never have trepidation. Keppinger is hitless in his last 12 at-bats, but a .290 overall hitter. Getting a chance to be an everyday player now. Hot shot up the middle and through for a base hit. So Keppinger snaps his 0 for 12 slide. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense, which is brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Marcus Timms in left. Another day off for Gardner because of the thumb problem. Granderson in center, Swisher in right. Another day off for Alex Rodriguez as Kevin Russo makes the start at third. Derek Jeter at short. Cano at second. Teixeira at first. Cervelli again behind the plate. And Vasquez is on the mound.
You talked about Keppinger, and that was really the big decision last night. After 7 in the third inning, Andy Pettit, a couple men on base. Joe Girardi went to Jabba Chamberlain. Keppinger had a couple good at-bats. Ended up getting a sacrifice fly. Was a big out for Jabba. Ended up winning the Yankees the game by getting out of that inning.
Berkman, 1 hit in his last 19 at bats, a big strikeout against Java last night. Didn't like the call. It was on a check swing. Big healthy cut, trying to go yard, and the count 0-2.
A good solid hitter, switch hitter, a lot of power. Thrown up big numbers down in Houston. This year kind of off to a slower start, had some injuries early. But still around the league, respected as one of the better hitters in the National League.
And the 0-2 missed outside. This is the call that turned the game last night.
You know what? I'm arguing also. That's just a tough call. And you hate to have an at-bat like that as a hitter where you feel like the bat was taken out of your hand. I mean, you make enough outs as it is out on the baseball field without the umpire, calling a check swing.
Now, honestly, did you ever think a check swing that you checked was actually a swing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's times that you know it, and you just hope that they miss it. But there are times that, you felt like you held back. And, again, 50-50, that's a close call. Just give me an opportunity. Like I said, I'm going to make enough outs as it is. Give me an opportunity to try to drive that run in. But on the other hand, Joppa probably liked the call. Right?
Loved it. The 2-2. Strike 3. Berkman down looking. No check swing there. Let's take a look at the umps today. It's Paul Maurer who just punched him out. He's behind the plate. Ted Barrett is at first. Tony Randazzo, who said he didn't check his swing, is at second tonight. And Brian Gorman is over at third. Here's Carlos Lee. Lee off to a slow start at 220.
There's a guy that hit 300 last year. Power numbers are okay and RBIs are okay. 20 to 30 home run guy, driving 100 runs since he's been here every year.
High fly ball, shallow center, coming on Granderson, and he'll put it away for the final out of the first. So a scoreless inning in the first. Astros nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Batting second and playing right field, it's Nick Swisher. Mark Teixeira at first base will hit third. Cleaning up and playing second, Robinson Cano. Jorge Posada will DH. He's going to bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing left field, Marcus Timms. Francisco Cervelli, the catcher, is going to bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing center field, Curtis Granderson. And Kevin Russo at third base will bat ninth. Well, let's check out the numbers on Wandy Rodriguez. They're not great. 3 and 8 with a 4.95, so 11 decisions in 12 starts. That's not bad. 84 hits in 67 in the third innings, and opponents hitting .316 against him. And here's a scouting report.
It's impressive. 09. I mean, last year he was 14 and 12 with a 3.02 ERA for a team that was kind of subpar. He was actually the Houston's pitcher of the year in 2009. Road woes. One of those guys that does not pitch well on the road. 21 and 36 career with over a 5 ERA. And changing it up, his best pitch is still, he's got a pretty good curveball, but he's throwing many more changeups this year. Those numbers you went over, he might want to get back to some other curveball, fastball. What do you think, Mike?
I would think if it doesn't work, you should change it up, but not a changeup.
Oh, there you go. That didn't take long.
Count 2-0 on Jeter. Jeter had his 28-game streak snapped last night. He had 28 straight games where he reached either with a hit, a walk, or a hit by pitch. That one is drilled deep to left center field. Giving Chase Michaels on the run. See ya! Home run into the Astros bullpen. A leadoff shot for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Derek Jeter only needed one more at bat last night to keep that streak going. First time up today. It's a pitcher and a fastball count. Looks like he got one right down the middle, which he did. But you see Derek Jeter in a hitter's count will turn on that ball. Still has good power to left center field.
7th home run of the year for Jeter. 36 run batted in. Coming into that at bat, a .366 hitter at home and .237 on the road. So the 35-year-old captain shows some power.
Started another streak.
Absolutely. 2 straight strikes to Swisher, the count 0-2.
You see Ramirez with that good curveball, and I mean, a lot of people use a curveball as an out pitch to get guys to swing out of the zone. He needs to throw that ball early in the count for strikes where he can sneak other things in there.
Popped up. Manzella will put it away. Now, Paul, did you realize that Wandy Rodriguez was literally the player to be named later?
For who?
For himself. Now, before 2003, his name was Andy Cabreja. And then they found out his real name was Wandy Rodriguez, and he was 3 years older than Andy Cabreja. So he was the player to be named later. Here's Mark Teixeira. Popped up. Giving chase is Berkman, and he makes the play.
That was a strange. I don't know if you saw that, but Teixeira let go of the bat after he hit the ball. He's walking back for Pine Tar thinking that it's out in the stands, and the ball stayed in. Sometimes the Pine Tar doesn't work. You see he loses the bat. But watch, he looks over there to get the Pine Tar. He doesn't even think about the ball being caught. Berkman gets over there. But you see it just slip out of his left hand. Yes, Mo. Here we go. See, we're in Yes, Mo in the first inning already, Michael.
We really do have to send you the home edition. You love it.
I do.
Here's Robinson Cano. And there's a strike. Cano with a 5-game hitting streak. In his last 16 games, Cano 31 for 65. That's .477. He leads the major leagues with a .373 batting average. And that one is looped out to short. Manzella puts it away for the final out of the first. Well, Derek Jeter leads off with a home run for the 24th time as a Yankee. And that ties Ricky Henderson for the most in franchise history. 1-0 Yankees. Which of these veteran Astros is most likely to be traded this season? Now you can text your vote to 58772, and standard text messaging rates apply. Your choice is number 1, Lance Berkman, number 2, Carlos Lee, number 3, Roy Oswalt. Who you picking there, Paul?
I say Oswalt. I know last night you told me that, you know, the salary is going to be a big part, but I think pitching is the one thing that people always want to add. I've been wrong before, though.
Not often.
Yeah.
Here's Hunter Pence. Swings at the first pitch and crushes it to left center field. Going back, Timms looking up. See ya! A monster shot into the bleachers over the bullpen, and the game is tied at 1.
Well, I tell you what, we talked about it a lot last night about how much he chokes up on the bat, but obviously it does not take away from your power. And kids, if you're watching, it gives you better bat control. But boy, he stepped into this one. Nice and quiet, and all of a sudden, boom. When the pitch is up that high, you see that ball up in your eyes, you don't have to elevate it as a hitter, and you can just swing through it. It takes a long time to get it. Some home runs take a long time. That means they went a long way, Michael.
Paul, that's one of the longest home runs I've seen here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's over the bullpen into those seats behind the pen.
State Farmville.
Yeah. No, that's Sports Authorityville.
Oh.
Well, we'll see what sign it did land over. Oh, so it's a block shot.
That's a block shot. Nice.
Guy with an Army cap. Military Appreciation Day catches the baseball.
Is there no grass out there? You see, you can't see that from here.
Ground ball.
Oh.
Grabbed there by Teixeira. He flips to Vasquez for the first out.
If you look at that play back, Teixeira does a nice version of the splits there. Early in the game, the field's kind of wet from watering it down. Look at that. Slide a little bit, yeah. Everything's a splits to me because I got a dial. Yes Mo is going to really see. You see that bottom spike just kind of slides instead of digs in there? Ouch.
We'll pull a groin that way, too.
You know, my daughter does dance now, so everything is splits and pirouettes and stuff now.
Pitch outside to Jason Michaels. 1-1 game on a couple of home runs. A Jeter leadoff home run. Paul was kind of shocked that it was a 24th career home run for Jeter because he hasn't let off his entire career. And that ties Ricky Henderson, Hall of Famer, for the most in franchise history. I got another Jeter stat for you. Now, sometime next year, early in the year, Derek Jeter's going to pick up his 3,000th hit. But I think they should count postseason hits because those are certainly important. So if you include all of his postseason hits, Paul, that home run in the first inning was Derek Jeter's 3,000th hit.
Yeah, they should count. Those hits in the postseason.
They should count double.
That's right. I was going to say they're bigger. You should get 1.5 points for those.
Rip foul. Nice catch by the ball boy. Smooth. Did you see the kid in Toronto caught a ball that was fair?
No.
Yeah, and they gave the guy, it was a Yankee Blue Jay game. I believe it was Cano, and they gave Cano a double, which is what was fair. And the umpire at the end of the inning came back by and took the glove away from the kid. Jason Michaels looks at the call third strike.
He uses that two-seamer and runs it back out. You know, starts it in a ball and runs it back over the corner. See the movement back to the outside corner. Really tough pitch to handle as a hitter. You know, the reason that pitch is hard to hit, Michael, is because your vision as a hitter, you make up your decision obviously before the ball gets to the plate, and that ball, as you pick it up as a hitter, is outside. And you know, you're picking the ball up, you know, out here, and all of a sudden it runs back. So, you know, you don't have enough time as a hitter to react to, oh no, it's coming back.
High fly ball, right field. Swisher is there, and he'll put it away for the final out. But the Astros tie the game in impressive fashion. A block shot by Hunter Pence into the left center field bleachers. 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the second. Enjoy the journey. The journey continues tomorrow afternoon with the final game against the Astros. Monday, everybody's off. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Phillies come to town. World Series rematch, 3 night games. And then the Mets come back in for the second leg of the Subway Series. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. Then the Yankees head for the West Coast with 3 against Arizona and 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yankees against Joe Torre for the first time since Torre left as manager. There's a strike to Jorge Posada.
You been to Chevis Ravine?
Yes.
You like?
I do like it.
Yeah.
Kind of turns back to time.
Yeah.
And just to be in the same ballpark and breathe the same air as Vince Scully.
I was going to say, you are a Vince Scully fan, right?
Who isn't? It's interesting to note that Vince went to Florida.
You do have some grads there. Are you on the same wall as Vince Scully?
I'm not on a wall.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
I've had posters on walls.
Might be a bathroom wall, but you're on a wall. You know, I heard some of Vince Scully's tribute to John Wooden the other night on the air. They played some of it back, and you know, those kind of guys are just you know, they demand respect before you even really know them. And Vince Scully, obviously, I met him a few times on the field. John Wooden I met once. And you just, you know, you're kind of in awe just talking to the people because how successful they are and just the way they go about things.
Posada strikes out for the first out. Well, let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow. It's kind of overcast today, 70 degrees, 66% humidity. Not much wind, and the forecast is mostly cloudy. Well, you got a 7 today. Yesterday was a 10.
I gave you a 10 yesterday. 7, I'll give you a 7 because of the temperature. It's warm enough for a good game. It's a little gray.
Go gray. Little gray, kind of like the new Meadowlands Stadium.
What is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's a lampshade from the party he went to last night.
Say ate a P.F. Chang's and just took the bowl. Huh?
Grounded foul. 1-1. Tim's a little extended struggle for him. Hitless in his last 8, 1 for his last 19. Still with a good on-base percentage, 391. Not playing as much. Sometimes that's tough to come off the bench and, you know, truncated duty. You know, earlier in the season with the injuries to Granderson, he played a lot. And he actually hit very well.
You know, players obviously embrace being in a bigger role. Opportunities are fun when you're out there every day. But, you know, Major League Baseball is a, if you have an opportunity, whether it's playing once a week or, you know, once a month, whatever, you know, you got to make the most of it. And I'm sure Thames is happy to be a Yankee. Obviously, wants to start turning things around offensively.
is Cervelli.
You know, I know he's got regular catching duties here lately with Jorge being hurt, but you know, the one thing that stands out there is his RBI production, and he has been so good with men in scoring position. 27 RBIs in limited at bats, but you know, he's done a great job, and he just, even when you walk through the clubhouse, we were down there today, you see him, he just has a little more hop in his step, happy to be here, and just loves playing the game of baseball.
With men in scoring position, Paul, 16 for 36, that's 444.
It's like Little League numbers, huh?
And getting a runner in from third with less than 2 outs. He's come up in that situation 9 times, and he's succeeded 7 times.
Well above average also.
There's one Yankee that has a lot of opportunities that's perfect, which is, it's an amazing number. Cano's come up to the plate with a runner on third with 2 outs, with less than 2 outs, and he has gotten a runner in 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. You know, when you're that confident of a hitter, when you're going through tough times and you get up to the plate, man on third base, you start to say, I got to get him in, I got to get him in. This is how, you know, you start thinking about fly ball. When you're as hot and as comfortable as Robinson Cano, you go up and just have an at bat. You know, you don't think about that man on third. You're going to get him in. The worst you're going to do is hit a long fly ball. But he is so good at the plate right now that there's really no certain way to get him out.
Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. You know, the interesting thing about Cervelli, Paul, I'm wondering if you see it too. He's not scalding the ball, but somehow it's getting through. He's picking up base hits.
Well, there's an old thing that if you're good at something, continue to do it. Don't try to change it. I mean, his approach right now is just try to hit the ball hard up the middle. Don't try to do too much with it. And that's why he's been successful with men in scoring position. I mean, a lot of guys are good hitters, and then all of a sudden they want to change everything when they get up with men in scoring position, and you do things that you're not accustomed to doing. He's not changing anything. He's just trying to, you know, ground the ball in a hole somewhere, and he's doing a good job.
Here's Granderson against the lefty, and there's a strike. Well, the Astros lost yesterday, and that doesn't usually bode well for Wandy Rodriguez. He's 0-5 with a 6.39 ERA in 5 starts this season. That immediately followed Astro losses.
We talked about it last year. I mean, it has such a good year, and regarded as one of the better left-handers in the whole National League. And then all of a sudden, you know, you turn the page. It's a different year, and things just don't fall your way so far.
The 1-1. Oh, foul of the foot of Granderson.
I don't know what hurts worse, your hands or your foot on that one. You see that, you know, you commit to swing there, and that ball just continues to run in. And you kind of just have to stop it. Just glad it goes foul, and you get another chance. You see that ball way in on the label, then way in on his shin.
I think that got him on the knee and then the foot. Double-barreled action. Kind of a pinball thing. The 1-2.
Ooh, went for the same pitch. Good pitch. You've seen a couple pitches in. Rodriguez has a good curveball. All of a sudden, as a left-handed hitter, that front hip wants to start inching out a little bit. Kind of makes that breaking ball away tough to hit.
Runners on first and second with 1 out. 3-2 count on Granderson. Strike 3.
Again, he saw a lot of fastballs, and he saw some fastballs in that really, really opened that hip, and it just buckled him with a good 3-2 curveball. So it shows you how confident Wandy is with this curveball.
Let's take a look at the Astros defense, brought to you by Mercedes, Michaels, Bourne, and Pence. Good arm for Bourne and Pence, left to right. Blum, Manzella, Keppinger, and Bergman. Quintero behind the plate, and Rodriguez is on the mound. Let's see that pitch, Paul.
Well, again, you've seen nothing but fastballs, and that ball's right at you. You see that front hit up, and it just it kind of buckles you. You hesitate because you don't pick up the spin real well, and then you don't have anything left to swing the bat. No argument. Maybe you got fooled there.
Kevin Russo grounds one foul. Russo had 2 hits against the Mets in that first game, but he has slid since. He's 2 for his last 20. So when you're hitting 194, you got to make the plays, and that's what Jordy wants out of you. Make the plays, move the runners, and he's replacing Alex Rodriguez out for the 2nd straight game.
It's that ground ball that he hit down there. A lot of youngsters over that tarp with their gloves in hand. Big opportunity they just missed.
Kevin born in Long Island, Comac, Long Island, and then as a 3-year-old moved to Colorado. He has a lot of family and friends that still live in Long Island. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Cowboy.
You see how Rodriguez could be effective if you've watched a couple of the pitches this inning. I mean, when he locates his fastball and he's got that good curveball, he can be tough. It's just when he can't throw that curveball for strikes and he gets in fastball counts, that's where he gets in trouble because he doesn't have a good enough fastball if a hitter's sitting on it.
Just missed. He wanted that one, stayed in his follow through for a while. And he says, wow.
The ball's a little up. Looked like it broke late.
Kind of hooked around the plate, right?
Catcher didn't bring it down for him.
So the runners are going to go on 3-2 and 2 outs. Knocked down with a bare hand, and Rodriguez will get the out, and that will do it here in the 2nd. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We played 2 at the stadium. It's a 1-1 game on Yes. 1-1 game. Home run by Jeter, home run by Pence. That's where we stand right now. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Astro order against Javier Vasquez. And also here in the third inning, we had a chance to talk to our very own Jack Curry down in the third base camera pit. Jack, you look resplendent in that jacket, very summery.
Thanks a lot, Michael. And being down here, I had a good view of Wandy Rodriguez walking off the mound. Something to watch when he goes out there next inning, guys. He was shaking that hand a lot, that bare hand, as he walked to the dugout. Definitely in some pain.
Well, we'll see the play right now. He knocked down the ground ball by Russo, threw to first, and then did walk off looking at the hand. Now, the beginning of that inning for Wandy Rodriguez, he struck out Jorge Posada, Jack. And since Posada came up the DL, he's 4 for 34. And I think the bottom line on this, he's a little rusty, and also I don't think he likes DHing.
Yeah, he doesn't like it, Michael, and he makes no secret about it. He considers himself a catcher. He's a very proud catcher. He puts a lot of effort into being behind the plate and calling pitches. And he's just not having the timing at the plate that you'd normally see. And this goes beyond this season. He's actually a .207 lifetime hitter as a DH. Meanwhile, he hits about .280 when he's catching.
Now, I think that poses an interesting conundrum for Joe Girardi. And that's a ground ball up the middle, and it's going to be through for a base hit for Tommy Manzella, who extends his hitting streak to 5 straight. Because when Posada is able to catch Jack, well, you know, you still don't have the DH back. It's going to be maybe August, late August, before they could get Nick Johnson back. And the Yankees' best offensive lineup is to have Cervelli behind the plate and Posada as the DH. What's Girardi's plans?
I agree with you, Michael, and I asked him that exact question today. In a way, I said, once Jorge is able to catch, which I think the latest would be Tuesday, do you have to consider the fact that he doesn't like DHing and that the statistics haven't been there when you make your choices? And Girardi said yes, that he would evaluate everything that goes into making a lineup. And Michael, I actually brought up Paul as an example because I know Joe Torre used to always say, I can't DH O'Neill. He hates it. He'll drive me crazy in the dugout.
See what happens there? You know, you just throw a temper tantrum once in a while, and then you get your way.
Squeaky wheel gets the oil. 24 games for O'Neill as a DH, a .258 batting average for him, so that's well below his lifetime average. Michael Bourne is at the plate, takes pitch outside. Now let's talk about the Yankees' first-round draft choice, and that's Cito Culver. He was their first-round pick. I heard that his idol was Derek Jeter. What do you know about this guy?
Right, Michael, a switch-hitting shortstop from Rochester, New York. And I talked to Damon Oppenheimer, who's the vice president of amateur scouting for the Yankees, and he's very high on this kid. The Yankees can't sign Culver, as Bourne fouls went off over my head here. The Yankees can't sign Culver until a week from tomorrow. That's when he will graduate from high school. But the Yankees really believe that this will be a smooth negotiation and a smooth signing. Last year, Michael, the 32nd pick in the first round received a $900,000 bonus. I would look for Culver to get a little more than that, something around $1 million. But the Yankees believe he's very anxious to get going and get his career started.
A Yankee fan as a kid, too, so he really wants to play for the Yankees.
Right, Billy Epler, who's one of Brian Cashman's assistants, also scouted him, and he said to me, I didn't get to the kid's house or to his bedroom, but if he doesn't have Yankee wallpaper in his bedroom, I'd be surprised. That's how passionate a Yankee fan Epler described Culver as being.
Now, speaking of passion, Jack, Yankees were taking BP, and on the big scoreboard in center field, they had one of the World Cup games on there. And then when you walk in the Yankee clubhouse today, a lot of the Yankees sitting around watching the World Cup. It's a big deal amongst this team.
Right, Francisco Cervelli has walked in with an Italian soccer jersey the last 2 days. I saw A.J. Burnett with a soccer jersey. Guys are talking about it. But, Michael, I decided to make a connection with the guy who I think is the most passionate soccer fan I've ever seen as a Yankee. I have to go back a ways to Robert Einhorn. He was a backup infielder, 94, 95, and 96 with the Yankees. I guess one of his claims to fame is when Derek Jeter made his debut, Einhorn was his road roommate. But I asked Einhorn, who does he have in the World Cup? Because the guy really knows his soccer. He's over there in Holland. He picked his Final Four as Germany, England, Spain, and, of course, Holland. And his winner, drum roll please, was Spain. He said Spain will beat England for the World Cup championship.
Wow, England plays the U.S. today, right?
Yes, they do.
That doesn't sound good for us, right?
I guess not. Jack, you've got some issues. You contacted Robert Einhorn to find out his World Cup picks.
Well, I knew him. He's also the general manager of the Dutch national baseball team, so I've covered him in the WBC. He really has done a good job, Michael, over there in helping build baseball as a sport in the Netherlands. Really good guy, and I know Jeter, he still keeps in touch with Jeter, so couple of emails. We got the info.
Good stuff, Jack. We'll see you on the postgame.
Okay, guys. Talk to you later.
All right, that's Jack Curry, as Paul likes to say, on assignment in the third base.
On assignment? It looks like he's heading to the Hamptons with that suit, huh?
The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Bourne down on strikes.
You see Bourne last night, kind of overmatched by Andy Pettit. This should be a much better matchup, but that ball tailing a little off the plate. I mean, there's a left-handed hitter with a lot of speed looking to just slap the ball the other way. Vasquez gets it by.
Did you remember that Einhorn was Jeter's first roommate?
No, I didn't know about that. I mean, I knew about you know, some of the things that he's doing outside of baseball now, and he's always a fun guy. One of those guys, kind of like Andy Fox. Remember Andy Fox had a lot of energy out there at BP, kind of kept the older guys going day in and day out. Go back to the DH thing. It's all about the rhythm of a player, and when Jorge's in the game catching, it just adds so much to his hitting, because he's involved in the game so much more, and it's very easy to say that that's the problem. Well, it is the problem. Now, if you tell Jorge a year from now or 2 years from now, hey, you're going to be a DH, you adjust to it. But when you're still a catcher, and when you're still used to going out there every single inning, it's a big adjustment to be all of a sudden just be a DH.
Line drive down the left field line, a base hit up the bat of Keppinger. Timms is going to play it off the wall. They're going to wave home Manzella. The throw is bubbled by Jeter. Manzella will score. It's an RBI double for Keppinger, and the Astros now lead 2-1.
Now again, Keppinger, he's a good hitter. He gets good swings. Came in here not hot, but this ball just kind of hangs out over the plate. And the question is here, as an outfielder, do you get a good carom off the wall, which Timms doesn't look like he did, and then all of a sudden overthrow Jeet? I don't know if he would have had a play, but we'll never know at this point, Michael.
So Keppinger now 2 for 2, and the Astros have a lead. And here is Lance Berkman.
And he's had some tough at-bats the first night, last night. Up here early, you just get the feeling that, you know, a good veteran hitter like this is, before the series is over, is going to get a hold of one of them. You just, as a pitcher, you got to know guys that, you know, that you have to be careful with. And Lance Berkman, especially in this ballpark, left-handed, you have to be careful.
Hot shot to second. And Cano puts it away for the second out. Hey, IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider. Yankees baseball on. Yes, I don't know if you caught that, Paul. Berkman's now 0 for 2, and as he's running down the first baseline, so disgusted, he flipped the bat straight up in the air. So he's thrown some bats in this series, but doesn't have much to show for it. I think the losing and the slumping, that's what really gets to a veteran player.
Again, I mean, here's a guy that's used to driving in 120 runs and hitting 30 home runs and being part of a pennant race, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get it at bat and you hit it hard, and, you know, every once in a while you just got to let it out.
I've heard that you felt that way.
Once in a while. A lot of those things are staged. Those things they show.
Really?
Staged. Yeah.
Beautiful choreography. Carlos Lee grounds out. The Astros take the lead on 2 hits, 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Stros. Brought to you by Johnny Walker. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. June 12, 1928, Lou Gehrig collects 14 total bases, including 2 triples and 2 home runs to lead the Yankees to a 15-7 win over the White Sox. And that is our Yankee great moment, brought to us by Johnny Walker. 2-4-0 for the Astros, 1-2-0 for the Yanks. Top of the Yankee order, Jeter, Swisher, and Teixeira against Wandy Rodriguez. Now, I look at you, Paul, as a guy who has it all.
In what respect?
I'm going to tell you in what respect. First of all, you had a great career. You got a great family that you still love. You still love your wife. You got it all. All right? So I saw a little side of you today that I've never seen. You were in Joe Girardi's office, and he has a big picture.
That was awesome, too, wasn't it?
An album cover from the Rolling Stones where all the Rolling Stones actually signed it.
Right.
And you wanted it. You were about to lift that from that man's office.
Don't look away. This could be missing. I mean, I'm a huge Stones fan. I mean, to have an autograph. It was a Sticky Fingers, like gold platinum album that was signed. It wasn't lithographed or
Lithograph.
Lithograph. They were real signatures.
Yeah.
Pretty neat piece.
You think you can get in there tomorrow and get it? I'll distract him while we're doing the Joe Girardi show.
He didn't seem too happy about the idea. Some managers in his spot would say, hey, I get another one of those. Go ahead and take that, right?
He wasn't doing that. I didn't realize he was a big Rolling Stones fan either.
Your ears ringing there, partner? Pretty impressive office. So just
first time I'd ever been in there.
Is that right?
Because, you're not allowed in there in the new stadium. I had to be, tag along with you.
Yeah. But we had to be escorted in there, right?
Manager holds all of his press conferences now in a room. And in the old stadium, he was just walking into the office and the manager would talk there. But now, he has his Solitude, his Rolling Stones album signed.
A lot of thinking goes on in that office.
He is high tech, though. We were talking about that check swing by Burke. He said, well, let me take a look. And he just called it up on his computer.
Yeah, that's nice. How do you do that?
Jeter works a lot.
I'll tell you what. You talk about computers. You want to hear about my night last night?
All right.
We get home fairly early, right? Yeah. Great game.
2:19.
Right? So Aaron, my son, he's taking the ACT today, right?
Right.
So out of nowhere, it's 12 o'clock. We're watching TV. 1 o'clock, we go to bed. 1:30, Neville sits up in the middle of the bed and says, oh, no. Like, what, missed the sale or something? What happened? It's 1:30 in the morning. I didn't bring Aaron's license. Well, you can't take the ACT with no license.
Oh, no.
So we're on the computer. She's pulling out the iPad. We're hitting every button, which I don't know what half of them do. And we can't come up with anything. So finally we call home.
Swisher rips one down the left field line.
Get the babysitter. She drives out. Now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. She grabs his license. We know where it is.
Right.
She faxes it to the hotel. Neville's running down in the lobby at 2:33 in the morning. And I'm starting to look at the clock, doing the math, thinking, I got to get up and take him there. So I'm down to, 3-4 hours of sleep. And not knowing this is going to work 100%. But as we speak, he took his ACT. It worked. We got a fax of his license, and it all came together.
So the fax could work. They accepted the fax.
They did. It was of his license. But, at 2:30 in the morning, you're not thinking real straight. But, I felt like Neville was part of the FBI. She had all the things out trying to work this deal to get some kind of identification. It shouldn't be that hard.
What I'm impressed with that you seem chipper right now with a very little sleep.
I might start dragging here early. You'll pick me up, right? It reminded me of the old days of when you had a day game the next day and you couldn't get to sleep. Mm-hmm. And you start doing
the math.
In their head, it's like, I can't go out and play. I'm only down to 4 or 5, 3 hours of sleep. And, you start closing your eyes harder and harder. It doesn't help.
Jeter's at first. 0-2 count on Swisher. And the pitch. Upstairs. Runner goes. Pitch is low. Throw to second. Goes into center field. Jeter scrambles to his feet. He'll go to third. So a stolen base and an error on the catcher. Yankees are set up.
He gets a good read on this. Gets stolen base, but a lot of times when you go head first, you kind of lose everything because the dirt flies in your eyes. But see, that ball's right in front of him. Doesn't need a read from anybody. Pops right up.
You know what? That was a good throw by Quintero. He shouldn't get an error. That didn't even bounce.
Yeah, that ball's got to be caught in front of the runner that drew leather. And if you ask Keppinger, he'll say that was a try.
Swisher dunks a base hit into left center field. The Yankees have tied the game at 2. RBI single for Swisher.
And this is the problem when you're a breaking ball pitcher. The second time around, a lot of these guys have seen your curveball, know in a big position what you're going to try to get him out with. Nick Swisher sees a kind of a hanging breaking ball. Just muscles it into left center.
39th ribby for Swisher. And they do give the error to the catcher, by the way, which is very unfair. Keppinger should have caught that ball. And he'd probably be the first one to tell you he was trying to tag and catch at the same time. Here's Teixeira. 1-0. Right there, if he catches and tags, Jeter's out.
Yeah, he is.
So not only is it an unfair 8-2, it actually was a very good throw. Tailed a little bit, but catchable ball.
You know, Keppinger played shortstop in Cincinnati, and then, you know, this, we've talked about it. It's Kaz Matsui, who started out here, just did not hit for the Astros. And he's getting an opportunity to play second base now every day, but not his natural position. These are plays that he's going to have to get better at. It's important that, you know, when you're covering second base, whether you're the shortstop or the second baseman, to get in front of that bag quick where you can receive the ball and not get caught up in the run.
And Teixeira works a walk. So the Yankees have runners on first and second. Still nobody out. And Robinson Cano comes to the plate. Along with Paul O'Neill and Jack Curry, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. The Yankees and the Astros are tied at 2 in the bottom of the third.
Jack Curry's up here as we speak. That doesn't take long. Right out of the camera well.
Brad Arnsberg talks things over with Wandy Rodriguez. And that's broken up by Paul Maurer. Rodriguez just a spectator, so getting some knowledge from Kevin Long, the Yankee batting coach. And here's Robinson Cano, a little humpback line drive to Manzella in the first. With runners in scoring position this year, Cano is hitting .375. He's hitting .372 overall.
You know, you just put like Robinson Cano, every card you get is doing well in this situation. You know, he's doing it all offensively.
The 0-1. Strike 0-2. Cano not enamored with that call. What do you think, Paul?
He thought it was down and in. The way he caught it, it looked down and in. But, you know, as a left-hander, that pitch right there is a lot harder to pick up than from a right-hander. Because you pick up the ball late from a left-hander anyway.
Off the glove of Rodriguez. And he cost himself a play. And he gets Cano a base hit. That might have been a double play if he let that go to the shortstop.
There's an at-bat right there that I think to myself, boy, he would have struck me out. Because as a hitter, you know, you're 0-2, and you know this guy hasn't thrown you a breaking ball yet. So in the back of your mind, you think breaking ball maybe, and then all of a sudden he tries to sneak a fastball by you. Robbie's quick enough to shoot it back up the middle. I think you're right, Michael. That's a tailor-made double play. It's a natural instinct for a pitcher to try to catch anything you can do. Every once in a while, you'll see guys actually pull their glove down. But it's just too hard to do. Good position for Jorge here to try to make something good happen. And you feel like when you're struggling that you're strike one, strike two all the time. But, you know, these are the at bats that you really battle, bases loaded, that can get you out of your mind of where you are. Makes something good happen.
Drives one to right field deep. Going back, Pence looking up. See ya! A grand slam for Posada. And the Yankees lead 6-2. Now that DH doesn't seem so bad, Paul.
Well, I tell you, I was just kind of talking about it. Sometimes you'll get in a big situation, and in your mind, you get mad. And you say, you know, I've had enough of this crap. I'm going to have a good at-bat. All the past at-bats are gone now, and boom. Something great happens, grand slam. You just hope that that's the one thing he needs to start going.
Marcus Timms with a high fly ball to center. Bourne makes the play for the first out. And for Posada, this is his 250th career home run. So a nice round number and a big home run for a nice round number.
See out in front a little bit, but drags the bat and stays with that ball down and away. Again, that yes mo will let you know exactly what you're doing right or wrong. Cheat looks at him like, you know, is that enough? Like I said, as a hitter, sometimes you just get mad and you don't want to even be congratulated. You're just sick and tired of making outs. You know you're a good hitter. You just got to let yourself hit.
That's his 8th career grand slam. Last grand slam he hit was July 26, 2004.
I remember Jeet had so many at-bats before he hit his first home run. Is he still on one?
He's at one, yeah.
Still at one grand slam.
But he has a very high batting average with the bases loaded.
If you're wondering, Rodriguez, you're just looking at this year as a nightmare. You know, you're losing record. You're coming off of a great year. And you come into Yankee Stadium, looking at a 6-2. You're trying to figure out how you can turn this year around, get your stuff back, some confidence.
Well, he just struck out Cervelli, and I think he thought it was the third out. And I believe Quintero might have as well. It looked as if Rodriguez was walking up the mound. Let's see. I think both of them thought that was it. Yeah, let's go to... No. They checked it out. No one else was moving. So they tried to deke it.
And when you get two guys, pitcher and the catcher not knowing how many outs there are, we're in trouble.
Let's see if anybody else moves on this one. And if you see the pitcher and catcher move, you might think, hey, I've got it wrong. No one else moved.
Now let's see if Rodriguez makes a little adjustment. He got an 0-2 with Cano with fastballs, and then he threw him another fastball. Now he's 0-2 with Granderson. You got to believe he'll throw that big breaking ball. Yep.
And he does, so he strikes him out. But the Yankees get 5 runs on 3 hits. Jeter started with a stolen base, scampered to third, and then the base hit by Swisher, and a grand slam by Jorge Posada, his 250th career home run, and it gives the Yankees a 6-2 lead. And the question, Roy Oswalt has 141 career wins. That's second all-time in Astros history. Which former Yankee is first? Find that out in the bottom of the inning. Here's Hunter Pence, and there's a strike. Pence, his first time up, crushed a home run into the bleachers in left center over the Astros bullpen.
I was thinking I knew this, but I don't think he pitched in Houston long. I'll throw it out there when the time comes.
Let's check out the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Hunter Pence.
Well, no choking his power. We're talking about choking up, and we saw that early in the game. He hit a bomb, but, you know, he's hit 25 home runs the last 2 years. So May blooming, he's hitting .302. He's having a great May. 6 home runs, 16 RBIs. Tough out. He'll battle you. We saw it yesterday. He gave Andy Pettit all he wanted. He doesn't give away at bats. There are younger guys on this team that hopefully will be part of the turnaround down there. You brought up some history of the Astros. I'm just looking at the media guide, and a lot of the American League fans that are Yankee fans don't see a lot of these guys and remember. And I'm just looking at some of the names. You know, Biggio, Darryl Kyle, Billy Doran.
Soft ground ball to second base. Sounded like he broke his bat. There's two, right?
Jeff Bagwell. Remember Mike Scott. Jose Cheo Cruz. J.R. Richards. One of the best fastballs they ever hit. And obviously Nolan Ryan. I don't even know the last two here, Michael. Who are those guys?
One of them's Larry Durka. Larry Durker? I don't know who the other Joe is.
Jimmy Wynn? We'll have to look that one up.
I think that is Jimmy Wynn.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's Jimmy Wynn.
I got to go down there in the era, in the middle of those names I told you, when Mike Scott was pitching, and Nolan Ryan, and Jose Cheo Cruz was, you know, one of their offensive strengths. And the what is an astronomical? Isn't that what Astro stands for?
I think it's for the space program.
Oh, okay.
And that's how the AstroTurf got its name.
And the Astrodome, which we talked about last night, wasn't the prettiest of domes.
But it was the first.
Yep. It kind of started a trend here, didn't it? Now we got retractable domes and roofs and all kind of things.
I think retractable's the way to go. Popped up, shallow right center. Cano back. Nice over the shoulder play for the final out of the inning. So Cano involved in all 3 outs. A 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for Javier Vasquez. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Yankees are leading this one 6-2 right here on Yes. answer. Roy Oswalt has 141 career wins, second all-time in Astros history. Which former Yankee is first? What did you think, Paul?
I knew Rick Rhoden threw down there for a while. Is that the answer? I don't think he threw down there long enough, though.
Let's see who it is. Joe Niekro.
Niekro.
Did Rick Rhoden pitch for them?
Yeah, I faced him down there a couple of years, but I think he was only there a year or two. So there's no way he'd get that many wins.
1-1 to Russo. Outside. 2-1. Wandy Rodriguez had a good year, as Paul had been mentioning. Last year, 14-12, 3.02. And he was probably shocked that he lost his arbitration case. He asked for $7 million. And the Astros offered $5 million. They went to arbitration rather than settling at $6 million, and he lost. It's nice when you lose, though, and get $5 million.
Pretty good. You know, when you lose a lottery, you get nothing. Right?
That's right. That one is driven into right field. Nice jump by Pence to put it away for the first out. Hey, cast your Scott's All-Star ballot at Lowe's and enter to win a VIP All-Star experience, compliments of Scott's. So here's Derek Jeter. Had his 28-game streak snapped where he reached base all straight, all 28. And he started another one today with a home run in the first, and then a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored in the third. So 2 runs for Jeter as he has the average of 294. Yankees at their high water mark right now at 38-23. That matches their high water, 15 over. Now the interesting thing, yesterday the Marlins beat the Rays. And the Yankees are now 1 game behind the Tampa Bay Rays in the East. And they had trailed Tampa Bay, ground ball towards short. Manzella will get Jeter. They had trailed Tampa Bay by 6 games on May 23rd, which were the largest deficit of the season. So they've made up 5 games in that time. So they're 1 back. The Red Sox are 4 back. The Blue Jays 5.5. And the Orioles, who lost to the Mets last night, 22 off the pace.
And again, you came into the year thinking it's going to be a 3-team race. Those, the Boston Red Sox, the Rays, and the Yankees are all good teams. And it's going to come down to that. Obviously, the Yankees right now aren't at 100%, but they're good enough to beat the teams they're playing right now. The Red Sox have turned things around since April and May. And the Rays have had a great start, and now they're starting to come down to earth a little bit. So that's where, when you play 18 games in the division, it's going to come down to how you play against some of the teams in your own division.
Yankees don't play the Rays again until July. July 16th, right after the All-Star break. I believe that's also Old Timers Day weekend. That one's popped up. Love is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So a nice comeback inning for Wandy Rodriguez. Yankees go down in order. We go to the 5th, 6-2 Bombers. Yeah, that was odd, Bob. I guess 9 runs against James Shields, so they did get slapped around quite a bit. And Wandy Rodriguez is getting pounded in this game as well. A home run by Jeter, a grand slam by Posada. Yankees lead 6-2 as we go to the 5th inning. And Brett Gardner enters the game in left field. Something might be wrong with Marcus Timms, and Gardner's been having trouble with that left thumb. You can see it's heavily wrapped, and that is his throwing hand. So we'll see how he plays through that. And we'll find out what the deal is with Timms coming out of the game. 6-2. Here's Quintero, and the pitch is high, 1-0. Quintero, Manzella, and Bourne, 8, 9, and 1 for the Astros here in the 5th. Steve Donahue talking things over with Girardi. Girardi must not want to see. I mean, he loves Donahue and Gene Monahan, but he probably doesn't want to see him because every time they're coming over, it's not good news.
There's years like that where, you know, people continually get banged up. Obviously, the big news lately has been A-Rod and his hip flexor. And Gardner with a thumb, he's been out. And Jorge with a foot, so it kind of goes on and on.
We got Alfredo Aceves, who's been out with a back problem, and he's really been missed. Nick Johnson with the surgery, the 2-1. Foul back. So they've lost some important parts, but as we mentioned, they have the 2nd best record in baseball. So they have persevered, and they still have a lot of stars left over, even when people get hurt.
Tons of depth, and Brian Cashman is so good at that, at bringing people in to fill roles. And you know, over the course of the year, you're going to need more than your starting 9 players to win a division, especially the American League East. And you know, this organization has figured that out, has seen it, especially with, you know, some older players. You're going to get nicked up a little bit. And Cash does a good job at filling some holes in the offseason.
And Quintero swings and misses for the first out. 6 in a row for Vasquez.
Again, to get ahead in the count, you can use that breaking ball out of the zone. Vasquez does. We talked before the game that this might be a good matchup for Vasquez. He's been throwing the ball much better of late. Good National League team that he's accustomed to facing, and all of a sudden now he's got a 6-2 lead. Can really bear down, work on things, throwing strikes, going at young hitters.
There's a ground ball to short. Jeter. 2 outs. Got another game here tomorrow between the Yankees and the Astros. And you can start your Yankee day at noon with another fun-filled episode of Yankees on Deck. Then at 12:30, catch the Tri-State Ford pregame before Paul and I bring you the series finale. The Astros and the Yankees, your Yankees day, starts tomorrow at noon with Yankees on Deck, only on Yes. If you want to even take it further, WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show. That's after the postgame, so it's a full day.
I can't do that before you do that, Michael. I'm a little low.
Really?
Yeah, that ACT test, it just killed me.
How do you do on a test? Did he tell you?
I haven't received a text yet. I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
Pitch is outside. Now, your older son's a great student. How about Dinky? Is Dinky?
Dinky is all right.
Yeah.
He'd much rather shoot baskets than read a book, but that's just, you know, he does his work. You're going to find this out, Michael, that, you know, in years down the road when you have all your little Michael K's running around, they're different kids, they're just different personalities. You wonder how they all came from the same parents.
Paul, I hope when they're running around that I could actually recognize them at that age.
You don't see that next week happening, you know?
High fly ball, left field. So Gardner gets a try, and he'll put it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So 8 in a row for Vasquez. The end of 4.5, we're halfway through. Yankees 6, Astros 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees up 6-2, and the first pitch to Teixeira is low, 1-0. Mark 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Yankees leading the Astros by 4. Seemed like during most of Mark's slump, he's batting from the left side. And there from the right side, he picks up a base hit. So a leadoff single for Teixeira. It is time for another look at today's Toyota text ball. Once again, the question, which of these veteran Astros is most likely to be traded this season? You've been texting us at 58772. And here's how you voted. 74% agree with Paul. It's going to be Roy Oswalt, then Berkman, and then Lee. And Lee makes sense because with his salary, unless the Astros pick up most of it, I don't see him being tradable. You can really sway votes. It's amazing. You could pull an election.
It's nice.
There's a ground ball to first. There's one. Back to first. A 3-6-3 double play up the bat of Cano.
You're almost surprised when Robbie doesn't do something well offensively. Believe me, these are the times when you're going through a tough stretch and then you get a huge hit. Last time, grand slam. That you're on the fence. Am I out of this, or am I going to go back to struggling? And these are the at bats you really want to just dig in and have another good at bat, and then you can start building on.
His grand slam was his 250th career home run, and he's tied now with Nettles for 7th most in Yankee history. He's still got a ways to go before he hits Bernie at 287. One that always surprises me is Jeter. 231 home runs. You don't think of him as a home run hitter. That's a decent amount of home runs. That one's laced into right field, so base hit for Posada, who is now 2 for his last 2.
And now you've done something as a hitter you can really hang your hat on. You've had back-to-back good at-bats. And again, the biggest thing on his mind is to get back behind the plate, catching. You see, that's a great swing. Ball away. We're going to yes-mo it. Shoot the ball the other way. It's like a good golf swing there. See how he released the club right there?
Now, I wanted to throw this at you. You know, we talk about Jorge when he's done, borderline Hall of Famer. He's now the 5th catcher in Major League history with at least 1,500 hits, 250 home runs, 350 doubles. The other 4, Pudge Rodriguez, Carlton Fisk, Gary Carter, and Johnny Bench. 3 of them are in the Hall of Fame. Pudge Rodriguez is probably gone. So good company for Posada.
Well, here's an at-bat to, you talk about Brett Gardner and his thumb. You know, here's an at-bat to watch to see how that thumb's really feeling a game at-bat.
Now, they could have made another move with Tim's out. So they must feel pretty good about Gardner's thumb. They could have moved Russo out to left and brought in Pena to play third if they wanted to go that route. But they decided to try out Gardner's thumb. That one's popped up. Michael Bourne is there, and that'll do it here in the 5th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 6th. It's 6-2 Yanks. FiOS TV, internet, and phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is FiOS. Brian Moeller will go for the Astros, 0-2, 6.12. And Phil Hughes tries to continue what has been a great season for him, 8-1, 2.71. And our coverage begins at 12:30 right here on Yes. First pitch will be about 108. Vasquez deals to Keppinger. Fouled away. Keppinger's 2 for 2 today. Single to center and then an RBI double to left. Tries to bust him inside, 1-1.
What do you think of the full beard look on a baseball player? I mean, it looks right for football when it's cold or something. Huh? Summer baseball, hot.
Tells you he's not a Yankee.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Pitch outside. Doesn't bother me. I mean, it's probably hot, though.
Yeah.
Although, you know, Minute Maid Park is air conditioned. Attractive. That looks hot. You know, ZZ Top plays summer concert, so I guess it works.
Is that real, you think? It's like one of those headband things. You just, the elastic band that you hang around you. Talking about that long goatee or whatever you call that. No, see, Santa made it to the ballpark with a Yankee. He's a Yankee fan, too, and an Irishman, too. You see that?
Little Shamrock, yeah.
No wonder he used to bring me good presents, Mikey. A little Irishman.
High fly ball, center field. Granderson for the first out. So Vasquez coasting now 9 in a row. A lot of gray beards in the stands.
A few gray beards up here in the booth, too, Michael.
That's for sure. You're holding out on the gray so far. Mine's taking over. And one of the funny stories about Yankees not allowed to wear beards, as Berkman pops it up for the second out. When Lou Piniella was with the Yankees as a player, and George Steinbrenner had just bought the team, and he had long hair and he was growing a little beard in spring training, and George Steinbrenner said, you got to cut the hair and you have to shave the beard. And Lou Piniella says, I don't understand it. He goes, Jesus Christ had long hair and a beard. And George goes, I'll tell you what. See that lake out there? You walk across that, you can keep the hair and the beard. Pitch to Cliff Lee is a strike. Cliff Lee, Carlos Lee.
And you're seeing this. You see another bad throw. It's just total frustration on a good player.
He's won for his last 22. Great bat tosses all series, though.
Does that help you on your average? Didn't help me.
You would have hit 400.
Every year. From Little League on.
1-1.
Uh-oh.
That one's driven deep to left field. Going back is Gardner looking up. See ya. Home run for Lee. A long shot. And the Yankee lead is now 6-3. Tenth home run of the year for Lee. And thrown back out on the field.
That ball hit the State Farm sign. Almost came back out on the field by itself. I saw that little thing. That's his 10th home run of the year. Not his first. And a no-doubter.
What'd you call that last time? State Farmland or State Farmville?
State Farmland.
State Farmville, I think. I think it was Modell's land.
It didn't quite make it over. Oh, ooh. Bad hand.
So 2 home runs allowed by Vasquez. There's a breaking ball strike to Pence. Well, they expect that kind of power out of Lee. It's his 5th home run this month, so half of his home runs have come in June. Today is June 12th. Got off to a very bad start. Nubbed up the first baseline. Grabbed there by Vasquez. Good play. He grabbed it before it would go foul and picked up the out. But the Astros get a run on one hit. No errors and nobody left. The one hit off the bat of Carlos Lee. Got the ball out over the plate, and Lee absolutely crushed it. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 6-3 Yanks. And the first pitch inside, 1-0. Yankees lead 6-3. 4 home runs in this game. 2 by the Yankees and 2 by the Astros. And the count 2-0. Derek Jeter, leadoff home run for the Yanks in the first, and then a grand slam by Posada in the third. Both Astro home runs have been of the solo variety. And for the Yankees, a little bit of a breakout because they had not homered in their last 3 games. And that matched their longest drought this year. They had not gone 4 straight without a home run since June 19th through the 22nd of last year. That was against the Padres and the Reds, or 2008, I'm sorry, against the Padres and the Reds at the old Yankee Stadium. So they avoid that with Jeter's home run in the first.
Watching Cervelli hit, you don't see too many people without batting gloves, but you know, both of the kids, Posada doesn't wear batting gloves, Cervelli doesn't wear batting gloves. Probably only 2 on the team.
Why do you wear batting gloves? What's the
you just get used to it. First of all, you use it to protect your hands in BP, that you don't get blisters and stuff, and then you become so comfortable with it, you have a better grip with the pine tar and the batting gloves than you do with none.
And Cervelli works the leadoff walk. You see guys in spring training now. I mean, their hands are bleeding when they start taking BP. Even with the batting gloves, you
can. I mean, yeah, you just over and over, and you haven't done it in a while. You create blisters and then calluses, and then they last the rest of the year. But people laugh about it, but it can become uncomfortable when you tear a blister open or something.
Here's Granderson. Pitch outside. Rodriguez has certainly handled Granderson, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Got him on a slow curveball last time, which is a hitter you put in the back of your mind if you get to 2 strikes. Seems like he likes to get ahead against the lefties with the fastball and then go to his curveball.
Brett Arnsberg, the pitching coach, will come out and talk with Wandy Rodriguez. You know, there are still great full-season plan locations available at Yankee Stadium, including in our Champions Suite. Champions gets you close to the action and includes complimentary all-inclusive food and beverages, plus other great amenities such as postseason ticket options. Now, for more information, call 718-508-3955. You can email champions@yankees.com or visit yankees.com/champions today.
You watch a game in the suite here yet?
Yes, I watched a couple of the playoff games.
Yeah, me too. Last year during the World Series, pretty neat.
Yes,
I mean the one big thing you noticed the huge difference in the old stadium and the new stadium.
Have you made it to a Legends Suite seat yet?
You know, not sitting, no, but I've been down there, you know, talking to some people and stuff.
That's a pretty neat experience. I got to do it for one game last year.
Comped, I'm sure, right?
Yes. The 2-1. Well, I mean, they would never allow you in those seats, though. You could bankrupt the team. It's all the food you can eat. And you can eat.
Could have taken the day off, you kidding?
Yeah, I know. So Granderson walks in. Looks like Rodriguez running out of some steam. So 2 straight walks. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Remember last night we had Whoopi Goldberg up in the booth,
yep.
You know, and talking about, I had just gotten delivered 2 big bags of M&Ms. I was being polite. I'm like, would you like a bag of M&Ms?
Never thought she'd say yes.
Yeah, just
right.
thinking to be polite. Well, yeah, absolutely. Just grabbed them and ran.
Yeah, and you're still feeling the effects of that. Jeff Fulcino is warming up. So in all likelihood, I would guess here, Paul, that they're going to bunt with Russo. Yankees up 6-3. They'd like to add a couple more runs. Russo's 0 for 2. And you've got Jeter up next. Nobody out. The Astros are thinking the way I'm thinking. Berkman and Blum are in. But they're not going to face Wandy Rodriguez. Brad Mills, the manager, first-year manager of the Astros, is going to signal to the bullpen. So it's going to be Fulcino coming in to face Russo. Yankees have runners on first and second. Nobody out. The afternoon is over for Rodriguez, but not for you. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, Brad Mills has to make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. So the Yankees have runners on first and second. Wandy Rodriguez's afternoon is done. And now the right-hander Jeff Fulcino is going to try to stop it right here with the Yankees up 6-3. They'll face Russo and then Jeter and Swisher wait after that. There's the numbers on the right-hander. They're not pretty. 26 hits and 10 walks, so 36 base runners in 22 innings, but he does have 23 strikeouts. a 7.77 ERA. Well, here is Russo. Let's see if Joe Girardi has him bunt. He's 2 for his last 22. He squares the bunt. They throw through to second. Diving back is Cervelli. Now, the way Russo wants to make it happen, he wants to bunt toward third. He wants to make the third baseman field the ball, and then no one would be covering at third.
Yeah, there's only one trick play that they use, and that's to bring the shortstop with it. It's a tough play. They run it once in a while. But your big thing as a hitter is you make sure you get it down the line far enough where it gets out of the pitcher.
And that bunted foul. So now 2 strikes on Russo. So let's see if Girardi still asked him to bunt. They have him swing away, and he lost the ball to right field. Hunter Pence is there. Tagging is Cervelli. The throw is cut off, and Cervelli makes it to third. So Pence, who's had 37 outfield assists since the start of 2008, the most in the majors, it was too deep for him to throw out Cervelli at third.
You know, it's funny when you hear stats like that, it means either of 2 things. Either you have a great arm, or you have a horrible arm and everybody tries to run on you, and you do throw some of them out. But Pence looks like he has a pretty good arm.
Here's Derek, solo home run into the Astro bullpen in left center in the first. Walk, stolen base, run scored in the third, grounded to short in the fourth.
Uh-oh. There's that Jeff Nelson move.
Half Nelson.
Half Nelson.
Jeff's become a broadcaster now.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah. He actually does stuff on my radio show at 1050 ESPN. Yeah. And he also, I think, works MLB.com. Good.
You got everybody on your radio show. Who don't you have?
You. We don't have you on.
Well, you call once in a while when you're desperate. I'm usually on the 8th tee at Kenwood when my phone rings and I look at Michael K's number.
And then you hit pause or delete.
Depends what kind of shot I hit. Yesterday you had Hershiser, you had Van Gundy.
That's right.
What were his thoughts on the playoffs, by the way? I didn't hear it.
That one is hit deep to right field. Pence back, track, wall, see ya! 3-run home run for Derek Jeter. The second home run for the captain this afternoon. And that gives the Yankees a 9-3 lead.
We saw earlier in the game he got in a fastball count and he pulled one to left center field to open up the game. This is more of his natural swing, kind of a hanging breaking ball. Cheat inside outs up, but you see he puts it right on the barrel. Today he's got that humidity, that little warm, and the ball's carrying much better than it did last night. 3-run homer.
That's Jeter's 9th career multi-home run game. And he now has 8 on the season, 2 on the day. Swisher's 1 for 3 with an RBI single. And a strike.
And before G hit that 3-run homer, I was having that. I mean, I didn't hear Van Gundy. What was his take on the player?
His take was he thinks he's going to go a long way, and I think a lot of people, and he included, think that Andrew Bynum has to be healthy, because if Bynum's not healthy, then Odom becomes a starter, and they really don't have a bench.
Huh.
The 0-2.
Big baseball fan. I talked to him one day.
Oh, huge baseball fan. He used to be a Met fan, but kind of got ticked off at them the way they let go of Willie Randolph.
Really?
Yeah. He said,
now
that's
he's
not
a
the way
Yankee
you treat
fan?
people. Yeah, I think he goes back and forth.
But he does your show.
Yes. Not a Yankee show, it's his show.
They talk Yankees.
Everything.
Believe me, they talk Yankees
They do
more
talk
than anybody
Yankees.
else.
That one is drilled out to left field. Jason Michaels is there. Now, the show that Paul was talking about, you can hear it every day, 3 to 7 on 1050 ESPN Radio.
Is that when I gotta listen?
That's when you have to listen, yeah. Cheap plug. That's going to bring up Teixeira. Teixeira is 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. The shift is on for Teixeira. Count 2-0. The 2-0. Count 3-0.
And this is the time you don't give the hitter or your 6-run lead. Guys has given up a home run. You don't give him the 3-0. Let's see guys swinging from their heels.
You know, with his hit today, Paul, he's at 229. That's his highest batting average of the season.
Yeah, it's, at this time of the year, you know, it's obviously not one of his better starts, but, you know, he's a very positive thinker. He knows what he's capable of doing. A lot of times when you go through tough times and you don't have anything to base it on, if you've never got off to a horrible start, you remember Robbie Cano a few years ago. It's a big adjustment mentally, but Teixeira seems to really take it in stride because he does it so often, not usually this long, but April notoriously has been a horrible month for him. To me, it almost becomes a mental thing that you start dreading April to the point where you know you're not going to get off to a good start. I remember Tim Salmon, good player out in Anaheim, every single year he would get off to these horrible starts, but at the end of the year, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs.
Takes it the other way, but right at the third baseman Blum for the final out of the 6th. Yankees get 3 runs, though, on a 3-run home run for Jeter, but Jeter's had a big day. He led off the game with a home run, obviously a solo shot, and then a 3-run home run here in the 6th, his first multi-home run game since '06. Sponsored by McDonald's. 2 hits for Keppinger, the home run by Lee, the home run by Pence, and then Manzella picked up a single, and that's pretty much the offense against Javier Vasquez, who's looking to go 6-5. And here's Blum. On the Verizon Wireless scoreboard, 9-3, Yankees 9-8-0, leading 3-5-1. If Vasquez gets through this inning, and he got a great pitch total, that was his 76th pitch, he'll give the Yankees their 28th start this year of at least 7 innings. Here's an impressive stat too, Paul. Yankee pitchers have held opponents to 3 runs or less 33 times this year. And they're 31-2 in those games. So right now it's at 3 runs or less. When the opponent scores 4 or more runs, Yankees are 7-21. So that's the key.
You know, it shows you've had some injuries. Your offense hasn't been its best.
That one has popped up. Cano, 1 out.
But starting pitching, I mean, it just gives you an opportunity every single day with good starting pitching to, one big hit, one big error, anything, and you can sneak out a win. And, Vasquez, his last 6 starts, we said, he's 4-2. Hughes has been tremendous. And now, this is another quality start. So you're starting to get into a rotation that everybody that takes that ball is giving you 7 good innings and a real good chance of winning.
And when that happens, you can actually absorb some of the injuries to your lineup. And the Yankees score a lot of runs, but they seem like they have games where they score in bunches, and sometimes they're just shut down. So they still want their offense to get on track. Pitch outside.
You look at Andy Pettitte. We just saw a picture. 8-1, could have easily been 9-1. The game in Toronto, he only gave up a couple runs, ended up getting a no decision. So, the starting pitching has just been unbelievable.
1-1. You could see yesterday, Andy was really touched with the 200th win. They gave him the ball. He got a phone call from Ron Guidry. And now he actually has more wins than Whitey Ford, who was at 236. But Whitey had all of his wins with the Yankees. Andy had those. I guess he would look at it as 3 misguided years in Houston.
Yeah, and you get to the point of the career that all of a sudden things start to sink in a little bit more because you see an end. When you're a young player, you're just trying to accomplish everything you can out on that field with the opportunities. And then when you've accomplished as much as Andy had, things start to sink in. How lucky you are to be in this type of organization. How many good things have happened. And then every once in a while you get that reminder. You'll get a 200 game, or you'll get breaking a record like Jeter did last year of Lou Gehrig, and things like that. They start to sink in more as you become an older player.
3-2, strike 3. Michael's down looking.
Yeah, every once in a while that little slider off the plate probably, but as a hitter, that's when you go back frustrated. But you hate to get in 2 strike counts where you give that pitcher an opportunity to make that good pitch and get the benefit of the call.
Here's Quintero. It was also a big deal for Andy last night. He had 3 sons in the clubhouse with him. And his family means the world to him, and that's what's probably going to tear him away from the game while he still has a lot left in the tank. But with his kids around him, he's a happy guy. And now he's reached the pinnacle. Did you hear this? He is going to be on center stage.
Oh, that is.
Is that big?
Now, you waited for him to get 200 wins for that?
Yeah, you can't get on without 200 wins.
You need a couple bills just to get there, huh? I'm glad I got on early.
You got on early.
No chance at this point. Huh?
You did get on early.
Real early.
Yeah.
That's back when somebody canceled on you or something?
No, you were big. Yeah. Here's Marte getting ready.
And I heard again, somebody else told me today, and I have not seen it yet, is the Mike Tyson center stage.
I'm telling you, it's good. That's a line drive single to center field for Quintero with 2 outs. That was on again last night. Yeah. While you were searching for your son's driver's license.
Well, we were going through every option in our head. You know how it's funny that, I don't do any of that stuff. My wife does it all. But when we were going through that last night, all of a sudden she said, why didn't you remind me? And it's like, how did this get on my lap, How often do I carry my son's license around with me?
And does Neville realize who she's married to? What did you remind
she does. I think she reminds herself sometimes. It's just like that. I don't do that kind of stuff. And it's just, in a marriage, you do certain things.
What's your role?
My role right now, I'm carpool. I'm dance instructor, basketball instructor. Who do you think does this schedule, by the way? She schedules these games.
Of course. So, Mike Harkey went out and talked with Vasquez, and you see double-barreled action in the Yankee pen with Robertson and Marte. Runner at first, Manzella at the plate. The 1-0. 1-1. So you're the dance instructor?
Well, no, I drive. I drive Allie to dance.
So you're not teaching how to dance.
I don't know much about dance. There's a few. I got a few other chores. Thursday night, I take the trash out. I'll tell you one that is embarrassing. I have to bathe the dog. We've got a little Bichon. So when I'm blow drying the dog and somebody walks in, it doesn't look good.
Well, now about 1 million people know that you blow dry the dog. What's the dog's name?
Dink.
Dink.
Yeah, he looks like a dink too. He's a little fur ball, but that's one thing that every once in a while I make sure I do it in the kitchen where there's no mirrors where I can see myself.
So you have the dunk dink. Yeah. Nice. We're getting insight into you today. 1-2.
Yeah.
That's what happens in 9-3 games.
Dink likes me. He's got separation anxiety when we go out of town.
You don't bring him? He's not part of the entourage?
No, he doesn't stay well in the hotel. Absolutely. Dink does have good bloodlines. Remember JR, who won the Westminster Dog Show at one time?
Yeah.
That's like his uncle or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the genes.
So you paid some good money for Dink.
I don't know. I'm sure Neville did.
Yankees lead 9-3. 3 home runs by the Yankees, 2 by Jeter. A 3-run shot, a solo shot, and Posada a grand slam. Swisher with the other RBI, a single. Breaking ball, strike 3. He throws Manzella. And a nice, impressive performance by Javier Vasquez. In the 7th, no runs a hit. No errors, 1 man left at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Yankees lead 9-3, but we will stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx and listen to God Bless America.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Please rise. And direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate. And welcome back, Kenny Thomas. In honor of the servicemen and women stationed around the globe, he will now sing, God Bless America.
God bless America. Land that I love. You stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home.
HOU on the postgame show along with Jack Curry. Bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees lead 9-3. So let's take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by McDonald's. Lots of hits in there. Marcus Timms walked, and Kevin Russo without a hit. Curtis Granderson walked. He doesn't have a hit. Cervelli a hit. Posada 2 hits, a home run, a grand slam. Cano, Teixeira, Swisher, and then 2 home runs for Derek Jeter and 4 runs batted in. Captain having a big day.
I'm going to go out on a limb, just getting player of the game right now. What do you think?
It's gutsy.
Couple homers.
It's gutsy. There's a strike. To Robinson Cano. Wesley Wright, the new pitcher.
Ouch. There's a 2-seamer in again against lefties that you've got to try to stay inside that ball, because the only thing you can do with it is beat it off your foot or your shin. That pitch, you see how it goes off the instep.
Robinson walking it off. Verizon Wireless scoreboard, it's 9-3 Yankees. And Wright deals the 0-2. Rolled his hands over on that one, grounded out to second. And Cano's moving very slowly to first base. And I wonder if that's because he fouled the ball off, or was he disgusted and just didn't hustle. But he was not moving very well toward first, and I think he might be banged up. Well, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates: 1, Posada; 2, Vasquez; 3, Jeter; 4, Swisher. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's Posada, pitches low. Let's take a look at how he ran. Doesn't seem to be a limp there. Tony Pena actually said something to him. And that one plunks Posada, so he is going to take first. And you can see Pena's probably looking at him. Why'd you run like that? And Robbie's probably hurting from fouling the ball off.
You know, as a manager, as a coach, you don't like to see people, run to first base. But, it does hurt. You foul a ball off your foot, you get back in there and hit. But, the best thing to do is go up and ask him. He's going to tell you the truth, especially in a game like this.
Here's Gardner. Pitches low.
I was just going to say, Jorge had 2 really, really solid at-bats. One a grand slam, another one line drive to right, and then you could build and try to get it 3, and then all of a sudden you get plunked with a curveball.
So Wright, one of 3 lefties in the Houston bullpen. Tim Burdack is one right, and then we saw Gustavo Chacin yesterday. They carry 8 pitchers in their bullpen. And only 3 guys on the bench. There's a strike.
Michael, I heard you talking. You'll be laughing tonight. You're going to see a comedian, right?
Great comedian, a guy named Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Who, big baseball fan, but very, very funny. He actually used to be on Dave Chappelle's show.
We'll get some material tonight. You'll use on us tomorrow?
I have to give him credit, though. So,
yeah?
Yeah. 2-2. Strike 3. Gardner down looking.
It's tough at bat. You know, you come off the bench as a left-hander, see a couple good curveballs, and then all of a sudden he sneaks a fastball. Then you're kind of looking for that breaking ball caught in between. You see those hands go forward. It's usually when you're looking for that breaking ball, you're just caught. There's nothing they can do.
Where are you going tonight, Paul? Frank and Mary's?
No, Frank's down in Florida. Mary's still in town, but Frank's in Florida. Heading out to White Plains for dinner today.
Nice. You know, you've got a little bit of a dilemma here. You can say where you're going and get the meal free.
Oh,
and if you say where you're going, people are going to mob you there.
It's a nice high rise in White Plains, so.
The 1-0. Count 1-1.
Where do you go? Where do you go in the city?
I go to a lot of places. I can't
Everywhere?
really reveal. Yeah.
Okay. Next time I'm in the city, I'm gonna go to one of your places. Just to let you know.
All right. Fly ball, right center. Bourne is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the 8th. 9-3 Yanks. Why get a car when you can own a Land Rover?
Drives of the game. The captain led off the game. 2-0 fastball, drives it to left center. Then later, puts the ball out of weight, shoots it into the right center field. Drives of the game. Derek Jeter. You say the 5th time in his career?
His first one since 06, and it's his 9th time.
9th time. Ryan, I'm glad you're on your toes over there. I tried to get Michael. I tried to stump him over there.
Here's David Robertson as Javi Vasquez gave the Yankees 7 strong innings. A quality start indeed. 6 hits and 3 runs. Robertson 25 hits and 18 in the 3rd innings. Too many walks for David and 21 strikeouts. And he does strike people out. He'll face the top of the Astros order. Michael Bourne starts it off. The pitch is inside. That's an impressive line for Vasquez. 7 innings, 6 hits. Check that. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts, and no walks.
You know, anytime you say no walks, good things are going to happen as a pitcher. I know Andy Pettit, we went over it a few times. He had 2 or 3 consecutive starts without walks. And of course, he won them both. You know, it's just it does not give, you know, the extra, you know, momentum of just people on base. Things happen when people are on base. Defense is stressed a little bit. And walks just makes it too hard to get the big out every time.
Weak hack at that. Pitch up in the zone. Bourne is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
I was talking about your show the other day, and I see you had Hershiser. You see this ball up out of the zone. Again, Bourne's had some tough at-bats. It's a little overmatched, but Strasburg had to come up in that conversation.
Well, you know, everybody I spoke to all week, they were raving about it. John Smoltz was probably the most effusive. He said, I don't want to put a tag on the guy. He said, but he lived up to everything that we thought. He said, and I'll tell you, if he stood on the mound and threw 20 straight four-seam fastballs and told the batters it was coming, he said, I doubt that they did.
I actually turned that game on, and Pudge Rodriguez came back that night to catch the game, and he did throw a lot of breaking balls, and he does have a great breaking ball. But when he starts elevating that fastball up in the eyes of hitters and they swing it, he's unhittable. And you know, to say unhittable at this level at that age, it was impressive.
He's going to start again tomorrow against the Indians in Cleveland. But everybody who was there raved about him, his composure, and the fact that he struck out 14, didn't walk a guy.
And didn't, you know, if you look at some of the things that went around when he walked off the field, it didn't look surprised at what was happening. You know, obviously a huge crowd in Washington. Now, is he going to be somebody that draws a crowd on the road? It'll be interesting to see if, you know, you didn't used to get that much media attention as a young pitcher. But
first pitcher in history to have 11 or more strikeouts and no walks in his major league debut. And that one gets past the diving Teixeira and past Cano into right field. A base hit for Keppinger, who is now 3 for 4. Well, Lance Berkman has had a rough 2 games. Last night, he checks his swing on this slider, he gets punched out, and the bat gets thrown. Well, here in the game today, he grounds out to second, the bat gets thrown. Pops up to second, the bat gets thrown. So does he have another bat throw in his system right now as he digs in against Robertson? Maybe he knows you're in the house and is just trying to impress you.
I was pretty good at throwing bad. You know what I'm really bad at?
What?
And it's hilarious. Is every once in a while, you know, you get mad on the golf course too, and you let go. Well, you got a glove on and it sticks. I've literally thrown a club 3 times, and I've played for 8 or 9 years. They stick and they end up in like trees and stuff. You got to call the clubhouse. They come out. They got to climb a ladder trying to fish them out. I mean, it's unbelievable how I can't chuck a club and just go pick it up. You don't seem surprised when I'm telling you this story.
No, believe me, this is the back of your baseball card. Here's the 2-0. There's a strike.
Be
That's
alert.
a good way to cool down.
Be alert for Lance Berkman.
The 2-1. 2-2.
Good pitch to hit there. And that's a fastball out away from him. Pitch he usually takes care of. See, that ball gets a lot of the plate.
He wants that back.
Yeah, kind of opens those front hips, kind of like Teixeira. Kind of leverage the ball out.
Rips that one to right field. Swisher is right there. And Berkman is down for the 4th time. Did not throw the bat. Well, let's see how Robertson went after him, Paul. And this pitch by pitch is brought to you by Suzuki Kazashi.
Again, throw strikes. You're ahead in the game. Ball 1 low. A lot of fastballs. This is the pitch Lance Berkman probably wants back. And then he fouls another good fastball back. But then he gets a fastball in. Just gets in enough where he doesn't drive it out.
That time the bat gets placed down.
Starting to feel sorry for that guy.
Here's Carlos Lee. And he goes around. 0-1.
This is where, you know, guys like Lee and Berkman get in a lot of trouble. Here's another game that you're kind of out of. And you know, one thing comes to your mind. You know, you're trying to hit home runs. You're just trying to do anything you can to make up for what the team's not doing. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're not a 300 hitter like you were last year. And it all comes down to not being in close games, not being competing in a close division where you just, you really concentrate on every at bat.
Lee goes down to his knees.
See that ball every once in a while. I mean, the Robertson ball is usually pretty straightforward four-seamer, and that ball just absolutely takes off.
The 2-1. Looped into center field, coming on his Granderson. He's going to play that on a couple of hops. So a base hit for Lee. He's 2 for 4 as Keppinger moves to second. Take a look at that swing on the Coors Light freeze can.
See how he kind of pulls the bat? That's just a big swing. Trying to really drive the ball, hits it off the end of the bat, and it'll fool the outfielder sometime with such a big swing. And you almost freeze or even break back, and you don't get a good read on it, especially from a home hitter or a home run hitter.
So here is Hunter Pence, who hit a prodigious home run in the first inning into the bleachers in left center. That breaking ball is too far inside. There's a ground ball to short. Jeter will go the short way, and that'll do it. So a scoreless inning for Robertson. He gives up 2 hits. He strands 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 9-3 Yanks. The 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Visit Yankees.com and cast your ballot now for your 2010 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often, vote today at Yankees.com. Who is that baby bomber up there on the big board moments ago? You had a lot of hair back then, too.
I think that was like 3rd grade, 2nd or 3rd grade.
You are Paul O'Neill.
Playroom right there.
Here's Tim Burdack. The pitch is inside 1-0. They keep bringing lefties out against this Yankee team.
Well, I'll tell you what.
They all have high ERAs, so Granderson will start it off. He fouls it back. Granderson has struck out twice and walked. Each team with 8 hits, but the Yankees have certainly made the most of theirs with 3 home runs. Solo, a 3-run, and a grand slam. Count 2 and 1. Granderson this year against left-handers hitting coming into the game 217. So a little bit better than last year. That one is driven to center field. Michael Bourne back and among the play for the first out.
Actually, I remember it when he came back. We were in.
Cano is getting that ankle wrapped up.
Padding in there to try to make it feel a little better. But Curtis had some good at-bats right when he came back off the disabled list. Cleveland was in town. Had some good swings. He got off to a tough start, but he faced some tough lefties in Boston early in the year.
Here's Kevin Russo, pitch outside.
I have been telling Granderson he's done that move you talked about. Russo might be going to left, Pena into third just to get Granderson an inning off.
And they'll move Gardner into center. Or maybe a little bit of a pick-me-up talk, as Granderson's now 4 for his last 16, which certainly isn't terrible. Russo fouls it back.
I'll tell you what, the ice bucket's going to be up and running tonight. A lot of people fouling balls off the shin, the feet. So, Gino, if you can hear me, you better ice up a couple of those tubs. Here's another one, right off the toe. It's always fun treatment, Michael, when you stick your foot into a bucket of ice.
How tough is it to put
it
in?
It only hurts for about 3 minutes before it goes numb. But that last 30 seconds or so is not good.
Driven the other way and foul. There's some guys that just submerge their whole body, right, in a tub of ice.
Yeah, well, yeah, after hot day games, Randy Velarde, I remember, used to do that a lot. They thought it kind of flushed their body out. I never was a big fan. I feel like your heart's going to stop as soon as you jump in.
2-2. Count 3 and 2. Russo's grounded back to the mound and a fly ball to right twice. Count 3 and 2. Burdack deals. And that's under the glove of Blum into left field for a base hit. Tomorrow, get a weekly recap straight from the skipper on a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. With the big names back in the lineup, Joe reflects on this week's series, plus a look ahead to the highly anticipated rematch with the Phillies. It's a new Joe Girardi Show tomorrow at 5. It's only on Yes. Crowd of 46,159 here at the stadium. They've seen Derek Jeter with a power surge. 2 home runs for him. Solo shot and a 3-run shot. 9th time in his career that he's done that. Multiple home run games. The last Yankee to hit 3 in a game, well, that was Mark Teixeira against the Red Sox this year.
know, it's funny, Michael. I just saw that overhead shot, and that it just took me back to the first time I went to a major league game in Crosley Field in Cincinnati, and how, you know, from the upper deck or from the upper seats, you know, it was just remarkable how the checkerboard, you know, the grass. That was when you were a little kid. You just thought that was so cool to look out at the major league field and see how it was kind of groomed.
One of the great lines I ever heard was Billy Crystal. You know, he'd been watching Yankee games as a little kid on black and white TV. He said then when he walked into the old ballpark, he couldn't believe it was in color.
It was real green, too.
Yeah, it was real green.
And the fields now are in so much better shape than they were, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
The 1-2 outside. Did the artificial turf at Riverfront bother you?
Oh, it was horrible. That was the old days before the, you know, the new good turf, and it was, you know, it was kind of like playing on carpeting on concrete. It was that type that when you slid, that, you know, some skin was coming off too. It was not the best surface to play. Great to hit on because it was fast, it was bouncy, but defensively and just running kind of beat you up.
2-2, and Jeter swings and misses, so he'll go down on strikes. Crowd gives him a nice hand, though. He's had a good day.
You know, Jeet, you struck out there, but I'm still giving you player of the game.
Not a bad game.
No. A couple home runs. No ho-hum day. Career of Derek Jeter.
I think he's had some pretty good days.
Yes, he has.
Now here's Nick Swisher. Hit sharply to short. Manzella will flip to Keppinger, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left for the Yankees here in the 8th. Astros coming about, last licks. Try to make them a 6-run deficit. Back in the studio for the WB Mason postgame. You can get highlights and analysis from this game and around the rest of the majors. Plus, Jack Curry gets the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. We just get word that Marcus Timms left the game with a strained right hamstring, and as we speak, he is undergoing an MRI to see the extent of the injury. Here's Chad Godin. He'll try to get the final 3 outs in the 9th inning. Those are his numbers with the Yankees and the Athletics. A lot of hits, 50 base runners in 25 in the 3rd inning, so 2 base runners an inning, not very good, as the Yankees are trying to straighten out Godin. Right now, he is their long guy. And Jeff Blum will lead off. It would be Blum, Michaels, and Quintero. 1-0. Yankees lead 9-3. Soft ground ball up the middle. Cano right there, and that'll do it. One away. That's going to bring up Jason Michaels, who was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Got a game again tomorrow. Please be sure to join us here on Yes. 12:30 is our pregame. 1:08. Paul and I will do the play-by-play. Yankees against the Astros. Brian Moeller against Phil Hughes. Fly ball right field shallow. Giving chase is Swisher. He can't get there. It's a fair ball. Going for 2 is Quintero. The throw is in time. Check that. That was Michaels. Foolishly tried to stretch when you're down 6. And a good throw by Nick Swisher.
Nick Swisher looks like he's even surprised himself. Big thing is right there, he makes a good slide. Gets rid of the ball quick. He's safe.
Tony Randazzo looked like he got that call wrong. Let's see. There's the catch. Wow.
He's safe?
I think he's safe. But there, it's hard to tell. I mean, it was the tip of the glove on before the foot hit the bag. Here's Quintero. From the naked eye, I thought sure he was safe, but the more we show it, I'm not sure. Well, Paul, the lesson there is you're down 6.
You don't make a close play, you're right. And, you know, these are the type of mistakes that Brad Mills is going to have to put up with. You know, it's funny, I talked to him on the field today, and it was such a difference when he used to come in with the Boston Red Sox, and now he's manager of the Houston Astros. And went from a rivalry to just coming into the interleague series. Big, big difference.
Mills 6 years with Terry Francona as his bench coach, and then finally got his chance with the Astros. And in a situation like this, you've got to manage and you've got to teach.
Right.
Fouled away. Crowd looking for the final strike, the final out. Godin deals. Swung on and missed, and the Yankees win 9-3. In the ninth, no runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Javier Vasquez gets another win for the Yankees. Now in his last 7 games, he is 5-2. Joe Girardi's team has taken the first 2 games of this series. And Derek Jeter with 2 home runs, and the Yankees reach a new high water mark for the year. They are 16 games over 500. And if the Tampa Bay Rays lose their game today against the Marlins, the Yankees will be tied for first place. Please stick around for the post-game show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. So Jeter with a leadoff home run set the tone. Jorge Posada with a grand slam, breaking out of his slump. And then after that, Derek Jeter with a 3-run home run. So a big day for Jeter, his 9th multi-home run game of his career. So things going well for the Yankees right now. They'll hold their breath now with the injury to Marcus Timms and Alex Rodriguez with the hip flexor and Brett Gardner's thumb. But wins are wins, and you take them and you roll from there as the Yankees win this one 9-3. Well, Jorge Posada is with Jack Curry right in front of the Yankee dugout. Jack?
Thanks a lot, Michael. Jorge, that grand slam, you hit an 0-1 curveball. He had shown you the curveball a lot in your first at-bat. Did that help you?
No, watching what he wanted to do, not only me, but the rest of the guys, he was throwing a lot of his curveball and wanted to stay back just in case he threw it.
That was your 250th career home run. I want to ask you, first of all, you're going to get the ball, and second of all, what does that mean to you?
Well, the guys in the bullpen say they have it, so I'm glad that they picked it up for me, and I'm glad that the fan gave me the chance to have it.
Now, you've talked a lot about the difficulty in DHing because you don't know what to do between at-bats. What did you do between those two at-bats, the strikeout and then the grand slam?
The same thing I've been doing. Obviously, the hit yesterday helped me a little bit and, get some confidence back, and, I feel pretty good right now.
With the grand slam and that hard single to right field, does this buy you any more time as a DH now, or you still want to get back?
Well, hopefully I can get back there tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Jorge. Michael, back to you.
Well, thank you, Jack, and thank you, Jorge, as well. So Posada wants to get back behind the plate tomorrow. Does it happen, or do they wait for the Phillies? Big day for Posada with a grand slam and a hit after that. Yankees win 9-3. Awards to come, and then the postgame with Bob and Jack.